actually, again, as a Japanese member of business world, usually the collaboration between vertical market, like a smart city and automotive industry, one specific giant automotive company will take a very close contract with the city developers or some integrator one-to-one and disclose each other all the secretly developed things and make the hegemony in that industry segment. And eat or eat kind of a battle is very much traditional. I'm quite familiar with those kind of
do understand,
But you sounds like you are trying to change the rule of that kind of battle type. The one-to-one deep tight contract and therefore a live battle is already, how do I say, previous centuries asset. And nowadays, we better do the different type of the collaboration and the business development. Right? And what is your best understanding of that kind of schema will work? It's hard for most of Japanese business people to accept that kind of drastic change.
Several things that need to be said there. One of them, of course, is that I'm not saying this, right? The world is saying this. The consortium, I said just moments ago, was founded by 5 global companies. Why did they do it? Because they found that on the projects that they were building, they had to collaborate. And so they were making one-to-one arrangements, or usually one-to-one and one-to-one and one-to-one arrangements, and it was becoming too complicated and too fragmented. So they determined that there was value in trying to work together to get some of the things on which we can all agree under control. Now, no one is going to control the entire industrial internet. It's not possible. No company is big enough to do that, right? Certainly some companies will dominate in certain areas, that's to be expected. But the notion that one company can own the entire IIoT platform is just not going to happen. So how do you then adjust your business models to be able to take account of that, right? And one of them is you need to be thinking in terms of collaboration, certainly to grow the market. Later perhaps there might be more competition, but to get things going, you definitely have to collaborate. This is the notion of a blue ocean market. You want to grow it and not to fight at the shore over small things. I know they're not small, it's billions of yen. But by making the market bigger, we can all be better off. So collaboration is one thing. And the second reason, the second thing that we need to do after collaboration is to make small bets. Large companies are used to making large bets. For example, Emirates Airlines last week bought about 18 or 20, I think, A380s from Airbus. And that is enough to keep that program going. Had that sale not gone through, Airbus may have decided not to build any more of those airplanes, and they would have made a loss on an enormous bet. And this is typical for big companies. So you think about any company that's going to make an investment in a factory, we're talking billions. So to understand how we're going to make money in this new world, we need to be in a position of saying, well, let's try this. Let's see what works and what does not. And then quickly close down the failures, and then fund equally quickly the ones that are working so that you can learn more. So this is a second thing that you can do in this new business environment to get things going. Third thing that you need to be thinking about is how you can monetize your data. We are used to the idea of, with a physical thing, that only one person can own it and one person can use it. That's not true with data. And now that's actually translating into the physical world. I live in Southern California. I do not have a car. I use a car hailing service. So again, what we're doing here is we're kind of sharing assets to build up new business models. So the next thing then that you need to look at is what kind of business model can I use that will make money out of the data that I have. There's a whole series of things that we need to do as a community to work out how we're going to make that happen. What does it mean to say that I own my data? We don't know yet, really, right? We have models that are holdovers from the past.
So far as I learn what you say, it sounds or it predicts really new style of business or company activity which didn't ever exist in last century. And in order to start up those kinds of new business, perhaps you don't need the Airbus class giant company capital or manufacturing assets or people. Maybe 1 or 10 or even 20 people can start up with this type of collaborative environment. And is IIC is looking at those type of business too, rather than huge companies, industrial internet?
Yes, very much so. Very, very much so. When the consortium was formed, there is an annual fee to be a member. It is set quite low for small companies because we wish to encourage small companies to come in. Again, when you look at these very broad and very deep stacks that we have building industrial Internet of Things systems, there are technologies that you need, that you know you need, and now you have to find the companies that actually can deliver that technology. So how are you going to do that? Well, you could have people out in the world looking and searching on the web and so on and so forth, but better to have them come to you, right? And this is one of the things that we have also seen in our testbed program, where there are a small number of sponsors, large companies usually, that set up the testbed, and then they seek out through the IIC small companies that can fill in gaps. And by making this information public within the IIC at the moment, you will also find that companies come to you and say, well, I have a better way of doing that. I understand your requirement, I think, but I could do it this way and it would be cheaper than the way you were thinking. So this kind of thing is already happening.
It sounds like a great future.
Future always sounds good, yes.
Okay, thanks for coming today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.